Hey, welcome to the Huntsville Hustle Podcast, where we share stories of grit, growth, and greatness from Huntsville's small business scene. Today, we're diving into the world of technology. We got two guys that are keeping businesses running smoothly here in the Rocket City. We got Derek Gray and Ben Crow. They're the brains behind Travel Tech Managed IT Services, and they're dedicated to providing top-notch IT solutions for people right around here. So, guys, thanks for welcome to the show, man. Absolutely, absolutely. So, people they probably have heard IT. They might know what that means and all that, but how do you guys describe what you do so people understand what you do?
Well, probably the best way to describe it is we, we are in-house IT. Large companies team. It's got all the payroll that only works there and has kind of their dedicated team. We fill that role for a lot of businesses that may not have the resources, but still going to have the need for a more in-depth IT coverage, more technically advanced requirements, networking, sharing files, uh, connecting some higher level equipment like manufacturing, for instance, where you've got like a CAD machine that's connected to files that are sitting on a server somewhere. Those need to interface, like an eye care, where you have a doctor and patients that are scanning and doing tests and kind of interfacing. Those files go somewhere else and they have to be managed and make sure they're just connected correctly and functioning and running.
Just named off a ton of stuff I want to have nothing to do with. So I'm glad there's people out, you guys out there doing that stuff for people. I think that's why you guys have been so successful because you can do that, like you said, for a fraction of the cost that some people are paying for these. You have it in house, get it taken care of because you don't want some guy that has another job also being the IT guy. I've seen some companies do that. I'm sure you guys come in behind that guy and fix what he does too. So just in case people don't know, you guys both had separate companies and decided to kind of join forces and come in. So I want to know kind of more about that. So first of all, Derek, you can start off, man. How did you guys decide? Hey, I want to work with this Ben guy.
Well, I mean, we met because we were neighbors in the neighborhood, and I had Rem Networks at the time that I had been running for. I guess we merged 2 years ago, so we was rolling on the 7 year mark. Ben had Travel Tech, and it just got to a point to where I was still full time. I was that guy that had the side hustle. I was doing it on the side as well. But I was at the Bomb Run Center downtown. I was there full time. And I was growing, you know, without even trying to. So, it turned into I had to find somebody that I could trust. I had to find, a business partner to help keep this thing moving along while I finished up, my time at the BBC. So it was almost like it was outgrowing me and I wasn't able to maintain by myself. So, I had to find a business partner, somebody I could trust because, it's difficult to find those employees to buy in, to what you're doing. And as a business owner, you can't always, expect them to do the things that you do, or expect them to have the same amount of, responsibility or to care about the business like you do. So, a business partner only makes sense.
That's it. So how does it work now? You guys have specific roles. You collaborate on everything. How does it work with far as day to day?
I mean, right now we just collaborate on everything. We don't we've made an attempt to kind of separate some roles, but at this point where we're at in the business, it really just turns into a collaboration. We still want all of our employees to be involved. We want them to know what's going on. So we try to collaborate as a team. But when it comes to business decisions, we're still collaborating on most everything. We talk daily. We're in the office. We're not remote, so we're here every day. And we definitely found that those separation of duties, we're not there yet.
That's cool. You guys kind of, we talked a little bit before we jumped on the recording. You guys kind of do things organically, just kind of come together. And that comes from that relationship you guys had even before you were a business partner. So I like to see that in the business world as well. So Ben, you mentioned earlier some of the services you guys offer. Is there an ideal client you guys have? And what kind of organization businesses benefit most from what you guys offer?
Yeah, so really our ideal client is a business that uses computers.
Okay.
I know that.
I know a guy.
That's a really simplistic look at it, but it's really true. We have reached out and partnered with companies that are just from every edge of the spectrum of construction, manufacturing, medical, dental, design. We we really touched it all. So we found some unique solutions for those customers, and we found that it's been great that when we partnered with one to kind of learn their stack and their software and how stuff runs for them, the next manufacturing company we bring on, hey, we've got this software again, or we have this setup again. So things just kind of started rolling smoothly. So it's a way we've kind of built some experience. And so really, again, ideal customers, they might use because we support really software configuration, things like that. It does kind of keep business moving, keep it productive.
You got to have it. You got to have it. That shuts down, the whole business shuts down. So, I mean, Huntsville is a huge innovator in technology and things like that. So, has this just been an ideal place to grow an IT business or what?
I think the biggest thing in Huntsville is that, most everybody wants to go after DoD contracts. That's what they want. That's where the money's at. But we found that, right now that, small businesses need our help. Most of the IT companies our size are bigger. They've either sold out to a regional company or moved on to the DoD contracts and kind of forgot about the small businesses. So for us, that's our focus. It's the small business. The way Huntsville's growing, there's a new business popping up every day. The idea is to, take care of these customers, take care of these people that are investing, here in Huntsville and growing alongside us, and they've become business partners, they've become friends, and that's been kind of the key for us. This being such a perfect city is just creating those relationships with these customers. We don't just look at them as just customers. We try to build those relationships. Just taking care of the small business. That's been the biggest thing for us. Thinking about Huntsville and how it's growing.
That's why I wanted to have you guys on because this podcast is all about local small businesses. That's what you guys support. You're out there keeping things running because without the IT side of things, almost every business now, you can't really work. You don't have someone like that, someone reliable you can come in. So you mentioned a couple ways you guys stand out. How else do you guys stand out amongst the other IT companies?
The biggest thing, Joe, for me has just been longevity. I mean, sticking to it, through COVID and all these things that happened. And I saw other IT businesses go out of business and, they didn't survive or they decided to move on from business ownership. And the one way we're standing out is we're continuing to innovate what we're doing. We're continuing to grow. We're continuing to increase our tools, what we do. And that's just been the long haul. It's been going on 10 years. So we've stuck to it and we've made it work. And I think that's what's setting us apart is the fact that we're not stopping. I mean, we're not giving up. We're continuing to move forward. So to separate us, it's those relationships. We don't have any high pressure salespeople. It's Ben and I, most of the sales, most of the relationships. So, we're not selling you a service and then forgetting about you. That's probably the biggest thing.
And to
You guys, like you, fresh blood. You guys came together. It seemed like there's new energy in both the company coming together. You guys just fired up, ready to roll, and get this thing going for the long term. It's probably pretty nice just to work one job now.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to work one job. Well, I'm still not just working one job. I still coach basketball. I still want to be involved with the kids. So, but as far as a full-time position, yes, it's nice to just have one because it was definitely two at the end of my BBC days. It was a great place to work. I enjoyed every minute of it as well. But, it was also time to go full steam with travel tech.
Doing well now, man. So, Ben, is there specific industries or businesses in Huntsville that would make great referral partners for you guys?
Yeah. Again, we kind of specialize in like eye cares, medical, manufacturing. We've kind of learned some of these software setups that a lot of companies use, and they're very popular. Some of the bigger vendors, manufacturers that we kind of built connections with them as well. Eye cares would be a big industry. The dentists, the dental industry, there's really like 3 to 4 major players software-wise that most any dentist uses. And we've gotten connected with them and kind of build relationships, which not only relationships with our clients and partners, but relationships with the vendors too. And so, how to fast track issues and how to get support rolling, have those 800 numbers that aren't published, that kind of thing. It would only just come through experience and being able to really quickly resolve issues, knowing how these vendors work, how they operate, how to get stuff fast tracked and roll it fixed.
Dental and eye care are super high tech. I don't know if you guys people don't pay attention. Man, I know my eye doctor, Kelly's Optical. There's no optician on grounds. Like they are in California, New York, somewhere else. They kind of put them in through Zoom, and they'll put this thing on your face, and they're moving it around wherever they are with the tools. We're living in the future, fellas. So if if that shuts down, if that software shuts down, they can't have anything going. So they need people like you and they're reliable people to come in there and someone local too. It's so important to get local guys that can be there. I know you guys, if you get a call, hey, we're going to be there. You don't have to wait, 6, 8 weeks. We're going to be there ASAP. So kind of switching gears a little bit. If there's something you could change about the local business landscape, what would it be?
Our businesses in 3 different states over the course of the last 15 years. Huntsville is one of the easiest as far as supporting small businesses, the ability to get stuff done. I think that the chamber is fantastic. Being able to try to really get your name out there. And the biggest driver for us really has been word of mouth. It's been existing clients that are referring us to the people that are having issues and local business owners that there's seen a really tremendous amount of support in the Huntsville, Madison County area at large for small businesses that are up and running, really hungry and ready to go and do work.
Let's switch on the negative side. What's on the bad side? What's a big challenge you guys are facing right now in the IT industry as far as business owners in the IT space?
I think it's the same challenge that most people are seeing. It's tough to find the right person to fit the company, to see the vision, to see where we're going, see where we're headed, to want to put in the time. We're growing at such a pace that, and as we're growing, we have to change our paths a lot. So, being able to get people to understand that we may change directions tomorrow. You never know. It just depends on what we're seeing in the IT industry. It changes every day, so we have to change with it. We have to be able to be flexible. It's kind of that idea that your employees have to be really flexible too, and they have to be willing to learn the next piece of technology and continue to grow in their education. And I think that happens a lot here in Huntsville just because of it being such a huge industry in the tech and the DoD and the engineers and those kind of things. And it's ever evolving. So, but I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges. And we're getting there. We're finding them one at a time. But that's probably the biggest challenge is getting those key people to be on board with what we're doing and being willing to shift with the wind. I mean, is the way I look at it. We're shifting all the time. So, but overall, I would say we've had it pretty good so far. But that there's not we haven't run into a whole lot of challenges just yet. We're still 2 years in this as a business partners, and we're still fairly young in that idea, even though we've had businesses for 10+ years, and we're still figuring out how some of this is going to look. But overall, it's been a great experience. We haven't hit too many walls, and we haven't had too many problems. So we're blessed, we're fortunate. So to say the bad things about business ownership, other than the late hours and the long days, I wouldn't say there hasn't been a whole lot.
But you got to be light on your feet. That's kind of the advantage you have as a small business against big guys. Is you can change on a dime if you need to. You see something needs changing. You have to send things up the pipeline, all that good stuff. You just go make the change. That can be good and bad. I've made some quick decisions that were terrible, but I've also done some ones that kind of saved me a lot of money in the long run. So yeah, you got to be, and the employees got to get on board. That's kind of a tough thing for a lot of people, especially if you're used to. Like I came from the government, slightly different job applications there. So you guys are up on tech stuff, so I want to learn this. You can both answer if one of you has an answer for this. Is there an app or tool or some technology you guys are using right now that's really helped you as a business owner?
Yeah, so we recently kind of migrated our entire system to a new platform. With that, we're constantly offering new services, new products, new software, new solutions. As the tech sphere is evolving, we've got involved almost any of it. And so we've got to push our hard to learn. For instance, we picked up some new software 2 weeks ago that is going to allow us to to monitor Office 365 environments and see if we have logins coming in from North Korea and other places where they definitely shouldn't be. We know our users aren't out there. It's going to alert us automatically, let us know we've got an issue with this, and lock down that system and keep it more secure. We've got a lot of different stuff that works like that, and we've got to learn all that software too. And so it's really been it's been a lot of work to stay ahead of bad actors and come up with really good solutions for kind of these common issues that businesses are having and keep them secure. I would say that we have an RMM tool in our industry is remote monitoring and management. It allows us to remotely access any user system on the fly. They can open a ticket right from their desktop and say, hey, I'm having issues with email, or I'm having issues with I can't connect the server. It allows us to really quickly track the user, the computer, the client, figure out where they are. We've got kind of a heads-up display of lots of different details, kind of what their environment looks like. So we can really quickly diagnose issues to back up and running quickly. Uh, you know, part of what we're selling is, well, the majority of what we're selling is service. The reason that companies are going to want to partner with us is because we can minimize your downtime. We can keep you from having to call some company to come out and in 3 days from now, hey, my computer's not working. Can you fix this? There's very few tickets that stay open longer than 24 hours. And so the platform that allows us to turn around stuff really quickly and look at historical issues that we've had in the same systems, we can raise flag and say, hey, this computer has been running slow for weeks. We need to do something about it. It's been a really game-changing platform for us to manage all of the clients that we have across the board.
You see it in the news all the time. Insecure, hey, she getting out there. You don't want that. That's a small business. That's for sure. So, Derek, I know you're a big habit and routine guy. What are some habits and routines that have helped you over the years?
To be honest, I don't have a lot of habits or routines. Now my routine would be I've got to go to the gym every day. I don't feel the same if I don't. So with business ownership and coaching basketball and those kind of things, I have to make sure I get into the gym at least 45 minutes to an hour. Something like that. It's just part of I think kind of what is building our business is that team aspect. And that's just something that I've always been a part of is some kind of team, whether if I was playing a sport or in the Marines or, anything else. So, I think that's part of the daily routine here is we meet every morning. We have a little powwow to make sure where we're headed for the day and where everybody's going and those kind of things. That's probably our biggest routine as a business for us is make sure that stuff's happening in the mornings. But personally, like I said, I don't have a lot of those daily habits or routines that you read about from these billionaires and millionaires, but I do still like to make sure I'm in the gym every day. That's my time to relax and to make sure I'm staying fit and active. So I think that plays a big part in this probably could be true for anybody. I mean, it just makes you feel better, makes you look better. So I think that's part of business success is taking care of yourself. So you have to have that self care.
Me as well. It all starts mentally as well as I'm with you. Dan, do you have anything that you do? It's kind of a routine deal.
Yeah, I try to carve out just a little bit of time first thing in the morning, last thing in the afternoon to kind of get my head right and say, hey, what do I need to accomplish today? And then by the end of the day, what did I accomplish today? And what am I rolling over tomorrow? What can I get done right now that is going to keep us from having to deal with it later on? Yeah, just try to be methodical. It's a work in progress, like everything else. But yeah, try to get in good habits of making lists and checking things off and be diligent about kind of hitting those milestones in a day-to-day basis.
I'm a list guy for sure. I'm with you. And also, when my business is at its best, I do take that kind of after action report type deal, like, hey, what we're right today, what went wrong, and what are we doing tomorrow, rather than just kind of grinding it out day to day. I get in that mode too, but man, when I can hit, I do my big three. Like, hey, these are three things I got to get done tomorrow to move this business forward. I'm doing that on a regular basis. Things are going pretty well. But I'm like most people, like every now and then I get just put my head down, go to work, forget to do that stuff. So I'm with you on. I'm work in progress as well. So you guys, in the local business community, there's someone that you guys admire and is kind of that inspires you as a business owner.
Yeah, I'd say early on we were first in talks about GTAC. If you know that university, they've been a long time. John about GTAC, know this, and we just able to kind of pick his brain. A dual action, a partnership business like this before. Said, hey, what are some pitfalls? What are some things you guys have done that have worked well? What didn't work so good? What does your kind of day look like? He gave us some really good insight. So, anyway, shout out to Tech. Been a great company to work with. And I think we've seen them grow a lot as we partnered with them too. And you kind of want to pick somebody you see is definitely doing things right. And I feel like they've made a really good name for themselves in Huntsville, and we're kind of emulating that a little bit too.
That's awesome. Man. We're willing to help. I think people, if you're going to ask for help, kind of small business will help you out. Here's what I did. I wish I wouldn't have done this. Here's what I would have done. They'll help you out. There's some out there. Don't get me wrong. Talk about that. The vast majority will help you out. Yeah. How about you, Derek? Anyone you kind of admire in the business scene around here?
Joe, I've met a lot of business owners, and we've been through. I met you and me and I. We've been in all these different groups and things like that. And I'll be honest, you admire me, Joe. I mean, we've known each other for, I guess we're going on 8-9 years now from my first encounter in BNI, and your positivity and your podcast and relentless positivity and everything that you've got going on, and writing your books and all those kind of things. I constantly follow you on social media and those kind of things. So, that's probably, when I see stuff like that, that's probably a big impact on me, because there are those days you could put your head down and be negative or think you had a loss for the day, but then you see things on social media coming from Joe Martin, always make you smile. That's probably the biggest thing for me. I don't, as far as an organization or anything like that, I just don't off the top of my head have anything, but I can always, your name comes up quite a bit when you're talking to people about business and those kind of things. And when somebody wants to mention referral groups or referral partners, whether if you know it or not, your name comes up quite a bit, and that's, I admire that.
Appreciate it. I'm out here doing my best. I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I can. I'm not one of the classic business owner. I never thought in a million years I would own a business, but man, I just love people, right? So I want to have. That's why I wanted to start this podcast, because hey, if we can just start connecting good folks together, good things are going to happen. So that's why we've been connected 9, 10 years, something like that. I'm terrible with dates, man, but I've always admired you as well. Like you said, working 2 jobs, still raising a family, and coaching basketball, reaching out to the community. And Ben as well is out there. He's raising a great family member, still having a great business. That's what it's all about. I mean, I know you guys have worked long hours and you missed some things here and there, but I know you keep the right things in your lives. So appreciate what y'all do as well. So if there's a business or an organization or person you guys could work with that would help your business, who would it be around here? Is there anyone you'd like to link up with?
I made that joke a lot, but it is really true. We've partnered with every type of company you can imagine, every type of industry, and each one has been really unique. And I'm a learner. I like doing new stuff. I like meeting people. I like digging into the system and saying, hey, here's what would do this a little better. What do you think? And we kind of see that. Yeah, just really across the board, we're kind of an open book. We've really got a solution for just about any business out there.
But like you said, it's a fraction of a cost of what you're normally going to pay. That's huge selling point for a lot of people, especially when the margins are a little thin in the business sometimes. But you need these services. That's what you're going to call in. That can get it done right for a good price, and they're reliable. They've been in business 10 years. That's the guys you want. That's the guys you want. So if you talk to someone that was like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a small business, what advice would you give? Let's start with you, Derek. What would you give that person? Say, I'm going to start a small business. What would you do?
I touched on it earlier. It's about not quitting. Not worrying about, the fact that I was working 2 jobs until I could make this thing work and get it, where we needed it, and, partner with with Ben and with Travel Tech, and as you know, it was always just I won't ever say small business was a dream of mine. It really wasn't. I mean, it just kind of happened. You know, I went to work for Ram Networks when I got out of the Marine Corps, and over time, I became the owner, and I bought it from Rick and Michelle Fernandez, and I was able to sustain it and continue to grow it, little bit by little bit without a whole lot of effort, and until it came time to join forces with Ben, and that's probably been the biggest thing is just sticking to it. You can ask Ashley, my wife. There's been times I come home and be like, I'm just going to close it down and work my 9 to 5 because I was stretched so thin. But she would always remind me that you know I was good at what I do, and that it was paying off, and it was allowing my family extra income, and we were able to do some things at the time. So she would just always remind me of where I was headed and wouldn't let me quit. And that's probably another big part of it is making sure you have the right people in your corner. My family's always been supportive. My wife, Bandy, our daughter's only 8, but she's full on board with Travel Tech, and she loves to tell people what her dad does. That's probably the biggest thing is just don't quit. There's gonna be those days you want to just fold it up and go home, but it'll pay off. It's taken 10 years to get here, but it's been fun, and now we're seeing the reward.
I think if you're a business, you have those days. Oh, I'm done with this. You're lying. I think you are lying. I've had those times too when I was working 3 jobs myself and trying to get my business launched on the side. It ain't easy. It's not for everyone. That's why a lot of businesses don't make it. So yeah, that's great, man. Just keep at it. And like you need that. You do need that family support. You need that buy-in at home. If the mama ain't happy, nobody happy. So
Right.
yeah, she's awesome. She's a trooper. I know she's hung in there with you with Vandy as well. So that's very cool. So I know people are listening. Like, hey, these guys sound pretty awesome. How do they connect with Travel Tech and get the managed IT services?
You can find us on the web at traveltechsupport.com. We're on Facebook, Travel Tech Managed IT, and LinkedIn as well. Soon to be Instagram and maybe TikTok if I can learn some better dance moves.
I'm you let me know when the Travel Tech TikTok is out. I'll be your first like or subscribe, whatever they do on TikTok. I'll go create an account. I'll be on there with you.
14.
Ben, I believe you. Okay. Hey, Derek, Ben, appreciate y'all coming on here and telling us more about what you do. I think people, like I said, they hear IT, but what does that mean? And I think they like to know the people behind the scenes that you guys are doing. What you guys is, people don't know what it is. They don't know how to do it, so they need guys like yourself to come in there and do that. I appreciate you guys doing it with honesty and integrity. We need more guys like you out there. So thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you, Joe.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, man. If you guys are listening right now, please share this episode with somebody. They need to hear more about Travel Tech and what they do, that they can help you out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you guys next week on the Huntsville Hustle podcast.
Appreciate it.